All right. All right. Is this working? All right. Is this working? Okay, it is. Let's turn this down a bit. Oh yeah. So we're gonna start with cybersecurity. And we're gonna go from there. Today we're doing OWASP API security top 10. Let me just the All right. So first you have API security. So let's get started with that. If you learn something new, sub up, sub up. Hopefully the room works. If this doesn't work, then that's gonna suck. Yeah, it's kind of like how I do notes, I guess. So I'm huge on like taking good, valuable cybersecurity notes. It's my API. Oh, it's my OWASP. Okay, change color for this. I'll make it like gray. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, OWASP API security. So we're gonna be on vulnerability 6. Hmm, that's a sign. One moment. My stream is just dying. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna turn on. I know. Okay, my internet should be back. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. No one's watching, but I don't really care. So let's go. Okay. So first we have math assignment. Although my thing isn't ready yet, but it's fine. Okay. Math assignment reflects a scenario where client-side data is automatically bound to server-side objects or class variables. So I'm just going to copy this sentence. And I'm actually going to explain how I do these rooms. So I do use AI just because it's not it's great. It's a good tool. So math assignment reflects a scenario where client-side data is automatically bound to server-side objects or class variables. Hackers exploit. Okay, so this is pretty much saying that the data is bound with the object or class variables. So if you don't know JavaScript, it's going to be hard to understand, which I don't really know it, but I know the basics of it, where the variables are stored in the code, in the JavaScript code. Hackers exploit this feature by first understanding the application's business logic and sending specialty crafted. Let me minimize this because I don't need this. So we're gonna find an example. Because that's the beautiful part. If you don't understand the what's happening, for me it's still a bit confusing. The best part is that you can turn error. Hmm. But it's important to be able to test out what you just learned, because okay, go back access the servers. I don't know why, but I've had so many issues with this room. Like, especially these rooms. I can just show it in split view, I guess. Maybe it will work. If it doesn't work, then that would be bad. But I mean, there's already something going here. So, you know. So, our developer who made the API, Bob, has been assigned to sign up the API endpoint. API rule 6 user that will take a name. Username and password as input parameters. The user table has a credit column with a default value of 50. Users will upgrade their membership to have larger credit values. So here we can see these larger credit values, potentially. I think I have to API rule. Interesting. So API rule user 6 and I believe I have to add these parameters. So I'm going to add these parameters. So upon running this command, encoded. Okay. Bob is not doing any filtering on the server side. Since the mass assignment feature, he's also inserting credit values in the database. So I'll put that in my notes. Because look, the issue is like I can change this to like 40. That'll give me 40. I can change it to 1,000. And by using like tools such as like Burp Suite, I can pretty much manipulate this to have pretty much have a lot of credits. So if I'm making like an AI website and it's costing me money, I'm selling my customized AI or whatever at a premium price for a certain amount of credits. Like you can just change that value and essentially like run the company out of business. Because the bot is set up so like, oh, I make money every time I send a message, but if the user doesn't have to verify payment or anything like that, it's very bad. But anywho, Bob is not doing the math assignment. Now, something I like to do is I like to have ChatGPT review the notes. So I like asking my question. Like, okay. So like because I didn't understand fully as ChatGPT, kind of simplify this. Yo, what's up, Tilly? What is this? This is cybersecurity, information security training. So pretty much, um, I teach you how to become a security engineer. It's just kind of like free training I do for people who are just interested in this, like I am. Yeah, but pretty much, I'm teaching people how to do cybersecurity like well. So I'm just studying. You can watch me study, and yeah, it's just educational. You learn stuff, and yeah, I mean it's valuable skills. You can make quite a bit of money with these skills. So yeah. Brother, are you like an influencer? I don't think so. I see myself more as, I don't know, someone you just study with or you learn from. I'm not really influencing anybody. I'm just kind of studying. We get to watch. Yeah, I mean, we kind of did that. Okay. I need to go to the bathroom, but I literally have viewers, so maybe I'll hold. Mm, no. I'll be back very quickly. Okay. Damn. See, I lost a viewer because I went to the bathroom. This is how it be. Okay. Um, let's get back to it. So vulnerability 7 is security misconfigurations. Now, I can't talk. Security misconfigurations are pretty much any like they're very broad. So anything that has been, I mean, as it says in the name, misconfigured, usually by the security engineer or whoever designed the security architecture. So, like, there's a lot of stuff. But let's see. Incorrect or poorly configured. So in this context, it's API because it's API security. Publicly accessible cloud storage, error message related to sensitive data. So I'll put some examples. Cross region. Security misconfigured are usually detected by vulnerability scanners, audit tools. I'm looking really tired. I do have to message somebody. Internal server error. Oh, it's probably because I have all this. Oh, it's a post request. That's why. Okay, so as you can see, when we run this command, it's a lot of like information. And like, for example, like as an attacker, like let's pretend we're attacking. I'm gonna hack this company. Like we see some call actions, um, bunch of stuff. Frameworks. We know if they're using the larval framework. So maybe I start searching for vulnerabilities in a larval framework. There's like a ton of information that should not be out here because this information can be used to essentially just pinpoint vulnerabilities. So like maybe there's not a vulnerability in larval, but there's a vulnerability in something else. Or maybe they're using an old version of something that's vulnerable. Like we never really know. So it's important to make sure we're doing the right thing. So that being said, why is it so eerie in my room? I don't think that should happen. See, look, like this is our error string. We know they're using larval controller. Issue the also the service in the back. Complete trace and response. The controller and route information. File path. See? So I'm not really going to go too in depth on it here because it's a very broad vulnerability. So there's no real point in like max to disable default usernames. Is it an excellent approach to show error logs from the no? But what is a stack trace? You're serious, bro? It's so annoying. Oh, okay. Internal server area. Error. When it fails or when it works? Okay. What is the error ID number? Wait, that's wrong. Error ID number. Oh, right here, malfunction. Alright, now we're going to do my favorite vulnerability. Injections. Injection attacks are probably among the oldest API web-based attacks. Do I have a note on XML? I don't. Um, why is this not working? Oh, I don't have my body variables. It's also a post request. Right, I'm forbidden because I don't have the correct credentials. So if I add a parameter, I do password, then I do username. So here I'm pretty much saying that or 1 equals 1. And does 1 equal 1? Yes. So if 1 is true, and I put that in for the password field, it will think that the password being correct is true. So as you can see, like I'm pretty sure I could put like any number. It's 10. Like if I put this, it won't work because 1 is not equal to 10. But if I put is 10 equal to 10, it should work. Yeah, because 10 is equal to 10. So like there's a number of things I could do here, but I mean this is a very bad vulnerability. Most of these API vulnerabilities can be exploited with Burp Suite. And if you know anything about Burp Suite, you would know that it's very good at these kind of attacks, which you do not want if you're running a sensitive web application. So I'll put malicious actor can requires using a target for the password, use a payload or to get the authorization key. So if I use a secure version, it should just block me. Yeah, because can I have an injection sent into my server? Can injection attacks result in remote code execution? Let me think. Remote code execution is when code is remotely executed. How would I be able to execute that code with an injection? Because I could essentially store code into my injection. Okay, vulnerability number 9. Improper asset management. So improper asset management Appropriate asset. Sorry, I just zoned out for a second. Or improper. I don't like that. So yeah, that's like a really good example. Like that's why I use ChatGPT. I know it gets a lot of hate. Oh, you're vibe coding, you're cheating, you're doing this, bro. ChatGPT is a great tool. Now, obviously, you can't be like 100% dependent on it because it does make mistakes. I've seen it make mistakes. It's not if you don't know what you want and what you're trying to do, it's not gonna be able to do it. Like I can't just be like, oh, just hack the website, bro. Just do it. Like it's not gonna do that. I have to like kind of teach it what to do, and it's very good at automating that. So. So here I logged in. And it's actually really funny. It's still vulnerable to the injection attack. Which I mean that's low-key mad funny if you ask me. If I put anything it should okay. I'm not getting an output for some reason. Oh, it's because I don't have a username. Right, I put in the admin. There's no admins in this scenario. So like I have at least, but I'm just curious, like is this one even vulnerable to the injection attack? I believe that's what I had. Okay, it doesn't work. Cool. Is it good practice to? No, absolutely not. Because if all your AI, if it's so loud, the sound of success. If all your APIs are stored on the same server, it's not good. Because what if that server gets compromised? If that server gets compromised, you're modern, you're old, all your APIs are just cooked. I believe you could secure this using a virtual machine, like have one API run on a virtual machine or some kind of container to isolate it. But yeah, what is the amount of balance associated with user Alice? A 100. Okay, and then insufficient logging and monitoring. This is like the easiest one. Literally, it just means that the logging and the monitoring, like, it's a vulnerability because I could just like blow up your server and you don't even know what happened. But it's not really gonna like it prevents an attack. Well, it's really just used for identifying an attack. It's not really gonna like logging. I mean, I guess monitoring does prevent you from monitoring prevents you from being attacked because you can just monitor what happens and stop problems as they're occurring. But like you're not gonna like a system having good logging and monitoring is not going to be the difference between you compromising it and not. Like just because the logging's bad, or even if the logging is really good, you're still going to be able to compromise that system at the end of the day. So, but anywho, insufficient logging and monitoring reflects a scenario when an attacker conducts malicious activity on your server. However, when you try to track the hacker, there's not enough evidence. So, like, if you want to file an insurance claim, if you like pay for cyber, is that a thing? Yeah, IT liability insurance. Okay, it's absolutely a thing. If you're filing a claim for your insurance, say, oh, we got hacked, right? They want you to prove that you got hacked. Like, how do I know you got hacked as an insurance person? Which makes sense because, like, you should be able to prove, oh, my system got compromised, blah blah blah. But if you can't prove that, like, how do I know you're not committing insurance fraud? So that's why it's essential to have backup logging and monitoring, and just make sure it's tested often, and it's just very secure and configured. Because that could be the difference between you getting pretty much scammed from your insurance company because you're really paying them money just in case something bad happens versus like getting a bunch of money to pay for the damages. But let's see. But yeah, insufficient logging monitoring reflects a scenario where an attacker conducts malicious activity and there's not enough information to track and log the mechanisms. Inability to identify attacker or hacker behind the attack. This is like very important. You want to know who hacked you. That way you can like call the police, call the FBI, whatever. Like especially if you're a big company, like you want to know what hit you, where it hit you from. So if I go here, Hi, an abnormal activity has been detected. Your IP address is one browser. Okay, so this is like pretty much a log. This is pretty much the log. Should API logs be publicly accessible so that an attacker must know they are being logged? No. We don't want an attacker to know anything about our logging system because then they could do things to cover up their tracks. We also don't want them to know they're being logged, although if it's like a somewhat like unless it's like some skid, like I guess if it's like me and I'm just having a bad day and I just like I'm not a hacker. Like I'm not doing anything malicious. But if I like hypothetically were to hack a company and I'm like, oh well, they're not gonna know what I did. Like, yeah, that's good. Because then they will do whatever they do and they're gonna get caught, most likely, unless they cover up really well. But yeah, it's very important to log. Successful logging, 200. 200 HTTP. Stop. 200 HTTP requests is very good. It means that the system has been logged. I mean, no, what am I saying? 200 just means the request went through and everything's okay. All right, that was simple and most correct to say over half the OWASP relevant organization. Was like literally half of the top 10 is authorization authentication. So, I mean, yeah, we completed the room. Oh my gosh. So loud. But yeah, guys, there's no viewers, but I'm gonna practice. And yeah. So tomorrow's room, secure software development life cycle. Let me just check my stats. I'm top 5%. That's pretty good. Top 5% in the world. Rank 16 in my league. And then what's my like 69? Um so I'm actually a day ahead. I was originally supposed to finish um I forgot. Like I think October 15th. Wait, I think some of this overlaps with the pen testing one. That's it? Oh no, it doesn't. Alright. That's gonna be the stream, y'all. See you tomorrow for more cybersecurity. I'm gonna go do some AV world. Um and yeah, thanks for watching.